Good morning, Twin Cities. Up and Adam. I'm Jack Tomczak. That's Andrew Lee.
Good morning.
Show, of course, produced by Lump.
Good morning.
How are we all doing this morning?
Pretty good.
Good.
Doing pretty good.
You overslept.
Yeah. Well, I didn't oversleep.
You overslept.
You slept perhaps more than intended?
I just slept a little bit more than intended. I was out of bed at 5:12, and normally it's more like 4. Just a little bit. I got a little extra hour of sleep.
How long
Nice.
does it take you to drive in from wherever it is that you live?
Today it took half an hour.
Okay. What if it had snowed, Lump?
I would be in
What if
deep,
the roads
deep
have been
trouble.
icy?
I have to when it snows. I normally have to leave at like 4:30, 4:45.
Don't remind me of those days.
So awful.
I'm not looking forward to that
I don't
coming
wanna
back.
Think about that. Like when it's really bad, I'll try to leave at about 4:15. If I really, really, really have to just coast along.
How about, and we don't have to do it year long, but in the winter months, the three of us get an apartment together across the street. Huh?
Huh?
That actually, I've thought.
24 hours a day together?
Just a loft, really, is all
Yeah.
we need.
It's a
You know,
studio
just a place to
apartment.
lay some air mattresses
Hay
on the ground.
for the farm girl?
I just need a hay bale.
I think that'd work.
I've not about like roommates with you two, but I've thought about.
She's very uncomfortable
How much
right
have you
now.
thought about that?
But I've thought about.
on.
I've thought about how
Slower.
nice it would be to live in the apartment across the street.
Right.
It'd be so nice.
It'd be great.
Just walk over here.
Yeah, it'd be
amazing.
fantastic.
Yeah, that'd be so good.
I may do it one day.
You should.
I may.
I'd probably still sleep in.
No, we could all sleep a little longer. Wake up
Yeah.
at 5:55 and run over here.
It'd be so nice.
Our studio's at our house, or barn, as it were. Work on that. At 8 o'clock today, James Whitfield, who when we've had him on before, it's been for the his nonprofit, the Ex-Offenders Resources Network. Well, he's also running for the mayorship of Blaine.
His honor.
That was soon to be, potentially, his honors. We'll talk about that.
Why do mayors get called his honor?
I think everybody, judges do.
Yeah.
I know.
But, like, I don't know, governors.
Yeah, we're not
don't.
talking about judges.
There's his honor, Mark Dayton.
Does anybody call him that?
I just did.
There's his honor lump.
I was on the radio. His honor lump over there.
That's your new name.
That's a long name. You just stick to lump.
So we'll talk with his honor. Soon to be his honor. Maybe his honor.
That you said otter.
Otter James Whitfield, former felon, current Otter, is running for the mayor of Blaine. Probably the first ex-felon they would have as mayor, and definitely the first Otter.
That we've interviewed.
Otters
Right.
are adorable.
Yeah, we've never
They do little people things with their hands.
had an otter on this show before.
Do we know that for sure?
Yeah, we don't know for sure. Could have been one in costume. You never
Watch
know.
Zellers. Zellers always brings in fresh fish and oysters, and he cracks open and eats them with his tiny hands.
Yeah, he puts his little
might be an
tiny hands in
otter.
front of his mouth.
Yeah.
All the time. Zeller's in his tiny hands.
He's careful.
Right? He'll show
He'll
up.
come in. He's up this early. When he was filling in for you last week, last week, he would come and do the show, and it's early. It's early to get here on time. You got to be early, but he would go to the gym first.
What?
First.
Oh.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, with all
Nobody
the
does
other
that.
otters.
Nobody does that.
Yeah. they need a lot of them because they're very small.
I see people like out for jogs on my way in.
Yeah.
You know, and I come in pretty early. I'm like, what do you do? What is your life? How do you do that?
Maybe if I didn't have this job, I would do that.
I yell,
I'm just kidding, I would do
what
that,
are you
and I like to
doing?
run.
That's optional for you. This is optional. And it just,
Why?
I think I'm crazy.
I can't imagine doing that.
But
Yeah.
think about it, though. I mean, if you work out that early, I mean, you've worked out for the day, and you don't have to work out.
Wait, you have to work out every day?
Right, Andrew and I don't have to work out after the show anyway.
Right.
It's not required.
I thought it was like once a year. It's like a token workout. It's like, hey, look what I did. Hey, everybody.
You got to make sure
I'm
that
healthy now.
you got to make sure every time you work out, you got to take a little selfie.
Started to sweat. Better
Yeah.
stop. Better pump the brakes. Slow down.
Pump the brakes or pump some iron.
I was working out yesterday. I almost fainted because it was too much.
I didn't,
I
and
actually
also
did.
almost fainted because it was too much.
I went to the mailbox, almost fainted. It was almost too much.
You should get an efficiency apartment by the mailbox. Fill it with otters.
We get a little segue for the trip to the
Speaking of
mailbox.
segues, we're going to segue to our 8:15 guest, Greg Ryan. He's the Republican-endorsed candidate in the 4th Congressional District. That seat currently occupied by Congresswoman Betty McCollum. And she's got no business being in Congress, but it's St. Paul, so she wins anyway. So we'll talk with Greg Ryan about what makes him different, why he'd be better for St. Paul and the surrounding suburbs in Congress, and why he thinks he could win, because that is an uphill battle.
Programming note, little announcement that I've been meaning to make for a couple days, and I keep forgetting.
When does Otters in the Morning start?
The Minnesota Beer Cast. My little podcast project that I've been doing for the last year and a half now about. The Minnesota Beer Cast is moving to Friday nights. Starting tomorrow night at 8 o'clock, you'll hear the Minnesota Beer Cast.
Very cool.
Every Friday at 8.
Very, very cool.
Starting tomorrow.
Nice.
Special guest on tomorrow's show, maybe, if it all works out,
The Drunk Otter.
Senator Amy Klobuchar.
Get out.
Get in.
For real?
Get out.
Seriously. That may be happening today. We'll find out.
I do not want to ruin your booking opportunity for your podcast, but we have a public affairs type show every day in the morning in which she's been invited.
I'm aware.
Okay.
I'm aware.
We're live.
She's been invited.
Yeah, many times.
Right.
We reach tens of thousands of people.
Uh-huh. Theoretically.
And if I'm to believe my own math on that, mostly Otters, but a lot of people in there. She's never said yes. She's never even bothered to respond.
Right.
But a beer
Show about beer.
podcast, tape delayed Friday night on the radio. She's there.
Show about beer. Yeah, I'll show up.
Oh, is that a small thing?
And there's beer.
I could.
Right? That's
yeah.
two of her favorite things. Beer and small
at
things.
6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Well.
So, yeah, possibly. We'll find out for sure later this afternoon.
Would
but
she
I believe
be coming in, or are you going out
It's
okay.
a phone call.
Shoot. Try to get her in studio, then lock the door till morning.
Right.
We're interviewing you, Senator of Small Things.
We got questions.
You're not getting out of here until you get rid of that medical device tax. I thought this was about beer.
While you're here.
She's not listening.
No, of course not.
No.
She's not
It's not a
even aware of
podcast
us.
about beer. I've got a Monopoly podcast. Let's see if she'll come on there.
We should start one of those.
Be the longest, most irritating podcast ever.
Just podcast while we play a game of Monopoly. Oh,
Then we'll wrap up the show with the dumb.
what's
school
worse
news.
than playing a game of Monopoly?
Interviewing Amy Klobuchar.
Well, we'll find out.
Ding, ding, ding.
We don't
What
know
if
yet.
she is listening?
Then she's probably very hurt.
Yeah, and then probably the
Sad.
interview's not happening.
Yeah.
Good job,
I'm,
Jay.
I'm sorry, everybody.
Oh, but congratulations on deciding to put your podcast on the radio, guy who gets to make that decision.
Well,
I
to go
really
through
crossed a barrier.
I had to go through a couple of channels, but thank you.
Guy who's
Hey,
in charge
Chad,
of
I'm going to
playing
put
with
this podcast I do on the air. Huh?
thunder. Who are you?
What?
It's not an FM. Oh, yeah,
Where?
you're fine. Do what you want. Go nuts. I wrap up the show with some dumb school news, but when we return, unlike Mustafa in The Lion King, Cecil returns.